My team were meant to tell me to hurry up if I was going too slow. Okay, so we're going to move on now to the accreditation. So as you know, we've always delivered a free digital training day, but it was as a result of working with the Cloch project down at the Glamorgan Archives that we saw the potential of maybe turning what was a basic training day in, you know, best practice for digitizing into an accredited course. So the Cloch project had worked closely with the Workers' Education Authority to develop that as a unit. But then, because we're based in Aberystwyth, we needed to find someone to cooperate and to partner with us to be able to enable us to deliver that further afield. These are some of the trainees. I think there might be a few that Caris Evans trained, and the three on the right are gentlemen that I trained. This was a project to enable individuals under the age of 25 to start working within the sector, and it provided them with skills and training to enable that. So it was really good for us to be a part of that. So we started delivering the accreditation element of our basic training days once we had established a partnership between Dysgu Bro, which are based here, and I'm glad to say that Denise Owen and Linda James are with us here today. Thank you both for attending. These are just pictures then, and I'm not sure if this is still working. You see Alan George and Steve Brewer attended our training session at the Tydfil Training Centre, which we continue to work with people who are out of work and unmarried mothers. We do a 2-hour workshop with them, which is hopefully getting them to embrace heritage, to maybe interest them in their lives or whatever. But there's these gentlemen up here were part of the REACH programme, which found work for people out of work, but they had to go through this specific training. And I'm happy to say that the 4 people that we accredited and did the training and are now certified were these 4 young lads. And you wouldn't think that they'd be interested in heritage, but one of them actually said to me, do you know, after doing this course, I actually want to go and buy my own scanner. And that was so heartwarming, because they kept them out of the room until the last minute, until, if you remember, Caris, until we started the training, and we were a bit worried about this, and they were shouting out the window in the breaks and things, but they turned out to be the most amazing young fellows, and I'm really glad that they've learnt a new skill that they may put to use in whatever they do with their lives now. So we've done a number of training sessions since then. We worked very closely with Velma Hayther at the Cymal, who helped us organise 3 very special sector days. So they did all the organising, the rooms, the venues, the food, even booked the sector staff onto these. And I think in total we trained about 38 to 40. Most of them went on, in fact, yes, all of them went on to do the accreditation. In total, over this last financial year, we've delivered training in over 30 places to over 300 people, and 148 are actually doing the accreditation, and 1/3 of those are actually now qualified. So that's quite something. And it has probably been the best year ever since the refresh of the new site, because we have a fabulous site to work with now. So these are just some photos of some training sessions. And while I was at the Digital Past earlier on this year, which was organised by the Royal Commission, a gentleman came up to me from the Glamorgan Archives and told me something really special. And I asked Hannah Price at Glamorgan Archives whether she would take the opportunity of going and recording what he said, because I wanted to share that with all of you. And bear in mind, this gentleman has worked at the Glamorgan Archives for ages, has been digitising for ages, and this is what David Hale had to say. So if I can click this on.
The digitisation accreditation was a little more in depth than I was expecting, but that came out to be its own reward. I think the difference between the photographs that we're producing from documents now is quite substantial. The photographs we used to take were very good, now they're excellent. I think it's important that we go out of our way to provide the best service and the best product that we can for the customers. This has given me the opportunity and the enthusiasm to go on and take other courses and learn more about digitisation.
So lovely. What a lovely, lovely comment to make about the accreditation. So I'm just going to show you some pictures quickly now, some of the various training days that we hold across Wales. Newtown Library, and we've got Kate here today, which I'm really pleased. Thank you very much for attending. And Newtown Library, of course, is all part and parcel of the Powisland and Lle Hanes groups. They all came to the training days. And then in Dolgellau. And here, of course, at the National Library. So staff and volunteers have been attending all the training sessions. Carys and Berian delivered training up at the Amgueddfa Goriel Gwynedd Museum. And I'm going to finish here because this particular group has touched us. I mean, it was thanks to Avril Jones, who gave me a quick phone call one day when I was on my way to deliver a presentation in Cardiff, and she said, "Are you going to be at the Royal Welsh Show tomorrow? Because I want you to meet a very special lady called Viv Craig from the Girl Guiding movement in Wales." And I said yes, and I met Viv, instantly fell in love with her. And Viv had approached Avril. Avril had been up to Bron Iron to have a look at their archives, which they hopefully want to deposit here at the National Library of Wales. But what were they going to do with it once it was deposited? And Avril suggested that our team go in and digitise so that they had copies. And that's what we started doing. We've delivered a number of training sessions now. I've delivered one, Rhian has, and Berian has delivered training. And I invited Viv to say a few words about that relationship, because we've seen potential here now in developing simpler sessions for the brownies and the younger guides, and hopefully we want to develop a badge as well that the girl guides can, you know, aim towards. And I'm so grateful that June Jones and Helena Thomas did all the archival work for the Girl Guiding, and it was immaculate. So we had something substantial to start working with. Everything was documented and numbered correctly. And when the exhibition team from here came out to visit, they were stunned, because not only had it been done properly, but they were using the correct containers to store everything. So I'm going to invite Viv out now, if you don't mind, Viv, to say a few words about that partnership. Before we invite Kay to speak, and then Tom, and I promise you we're nearly there then. So thank you, Viv.
So Pnawn da. I'm afraid that's about all I can say in Welsh, but thank you very much for inviting us to just say something, because we've just had so far a very, very exciting journey with PCW in trying to digitise our archive. As Hazel said, Avril came along and had a look, because we have got a very large archive, and it isn't housed in the best place. It's down in a cellar, and the cellar gets quite damp at times, so we thought, how are we going to ensure that we safeguard this for future generations? National Library, that's the thing to do. So, because actually the National Library already housed some of Lord Davis's archives, and I don't know whether you know, but Branarian in Llandinam used to be one of Lord Davis's homes, and in 1986 we purchased it off him. All the brownies and guides got together and did lots of different activities, and we managed to buy this lovely building off him. So we've got some beautiful archives within our house there. Of course, we got an enormous archive, because we have 20,000 members in Wales, and each of those members have got different archives that they have within their own units, and we need to try and safeguard this. So how in heaven's name are we going to do it? So Avril said, okay, I'll put you in touch with Hazel. So quite rightly, I went along to the Royal Welsh Show, and I saw PCW there, the great big screen that they were using, and I just fell in love with that. I thought, yay, because I'm not really an archivist. I'm somebody who loves all this digital stuff and the future, but this actually brings the whole thing together. So we agreed a strategy, didn't we, Hazel, on how we were going to do this, and we started our first course back in October. We started with about 18 ladies who came along, all volunteers, And we had also Helena, who is our archivist, and as Hazel has said, she actually catalogued everything. We could not have done this without Helena's input. It's just absolutely amazing what she's done. And although she's stepping back now, June is our lead volunteer for the actual archives. And so we decided, as we started on this course, that we would try and get young people as well as older people to come together so that we could have some intergenerational work as well. Because the young people don't know the heritage, and the old people, me included, know the heritage, but, the heritage, and not necessarily all the digital work. So the two coming together was absolutely brilliant. Of those 18 people, 12 people have already put in for the accreditation, and we've got our fingers crossed that they might have achieved. We've also started a second course, so, and I have 12 people registered on that, and they start again tomorrow on the second course of that. And we're actually looking towards having another course for young people, our 16 to 25-year-olds, and that they're going to come along and also participate. And we've been very lucky in gaining some a grant funding from the Welsh Government to actually make sure that we have 10 of our young people with that qualification by the end of the year. So a bit more work, Hazel. So it has been really a fantastic journey for us all. We've learned so much, as I know all of you have done, with all the digitising, all the metadata, all the copyright, but it has been very, very good. And I'm sorry, Mike, you haven't had much from us yet. Just wait, because it's coming. But I do really mean it's been absolutely fantastic. So thank you so very, very much. Can I just share one thing that we have? Sure. We have one lady who loves to take photographs of the minutes. So she spends all her time taking photographs of our minute books, and there are hundreds. Anyway, she was, I think, the first one she came across was one from 1936. And there was a minute in the book, and it said that the outdoor team were looking at inviting the Hitler Youth Organisation to come and have a camp with us. Needless to say, it didn't happen. And another one she found was in 1947, the executive meeting were talking about uniform. And it got quite detailed, and they were talking about the stockings that the ladies would have to wear. And they decided in the end that the stockings would have to be of a particular type, with a seam up the back, and the colour had to be leaf mould. So you can, nowadays we talk about health and safety, risk assessment, trust these things. So it's certainly been really, really, really interesting. Thank you so much. We've had a wonderful time. We work until almost midnight every time we all get together because we can't put it down. And I'm just hoping that you enjoy getting what we have. So thank you.
But don't go anywhere. So as a little surprise for Viv and June and Helena, I'm now going to call Linda James forward from Dysgu Bro, please. I don't know if you want to join us, June and Helena, or do you want to stay there? You can stay there if you like, and we'll come to you. Come onto the stage.
Mae'r partneriaeth rhwng Dysgu Bro Ceredigion a Chasgio Iwerin yn y Llyfrgell Genedlaethol wedi gweithio'n dda iawn. Mae'r nifer o cofrestiadau ac achrediadau yn cynyddu o'r prosiect clocht i dirmednwyr ni heddiw, sef Girl Guiding Cymru. Mae lefel y gwaith ac ymrywiaeth y gwaith wedi bod o safon uchel iawn, a mae wedi bod yn hynod o diddorol i'w cymedroli. The partnership between Dysgu Bro Ceredigion and the People's Collection at the National Library has worked very well, with increased registrations and accreditations since starting with the Cloch project to today's recipients, the Girl Guiding Wales. The level and range of the work has been of a very high standard, and it's been extremely interesting to moderate. So I'm very pleased to say that I can present you. Hazel should have
So these are for everyone else who also qualified.
Oh, thank you.
But the three of you personally will get your certificates handed by him.
Helena? Sorry, if I get Hazel, can you have Hazel for a moment? Did you like to do that?
No.
Yeah.
Put it away.
Well, I just add, it's been a pleasure to work with Hazel and all the team for their hard work and their enthusiasm, and I'm sure the project will go from strength to
We
strength.
couldn't have done it without your
That's
help.
okay, no problem.
Deal. And as I mentioned earlier on, we have been training the volunteers here as well. And we thought today would be a great opportunity just to congratulate and represent Amanda Kay with her certificate for having done the accreditation as one of Gwyneth's volunteers. And, you know, when you speak to Amanda, what she's gained from this accreditation is more than just the certificate. So if you do get a chance to talk to her during the tea break, please do. So I'd like to welcome Avril Jones up now, and Amanda, please, if you wouldn't mind.
Sorry. Head wet? No, the COVID for actually. It gives me great pleasure to present the certificate for completion of the PCW Digital Training Day to you today. This is proof of the way the PCW actually helps individuals develop skills. Amanda is one of our key volunteers, having delivered over, well, nearly 500 volunteer hours since she... She joined us in September 2012. So diolch yn fawr, Amanda.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Right, so now I'm going to invite Kay Hansen up to explain to you a little bit about her role on the PCW programme. Thank you, Kay.
My sincere apologies. I'm afraid I have to go now to another meeting. It's always the fate, I'm afraid, of the civil servant, the bureaucracy. But I do hope you enjoy the rest. And I particularly hope you enjoy the tea. Very good. Okay, thank you very much.
Right, okay, I'm just going to whiz through this now because I'm sure we're all desperate for a nice cup of tea. Basically, just wanted to give you a chance just to have a look at some of the ongoing work behind the scenes with the website at the moment. The first thing you'll probably notice is the digital heritage stations. What we're going to do is actually help people to understand the scale of the programme. So you will have noticed a few weeks ago that we put the maps up, but what we're actually going to do now is link to a page. So those are the 4 first ones being shown on the main page there, and then we'll link to all the locations that we're currently operating under. So obviously working with you now in the future, what we're hoping is, if it helps you at all, if you want to add information to this, so you want to be able to encourage people to come in, perhaps we could work together and maybe just give a rough idea of your opening times or who to contact to find out when people can come along. So this very much will be a work in progress, this page, I think, over the next year. But obviously nothing will happen without discussions between you, what you're comfortable with, and Hazel is the person to communicate with that. So the other thing that we're going to do now is to start, I think, advertising all the classes that Hazel and her team give. So we're going to dedicate a page to that to encourage more people to sign up and reach audiences that we haven't reached already. So hopefully that will. I think this page went live yesterday. I think I flicked this one on, so it's available in English and Welsh. So that one's live and ready. The other thing we're working on at the moment as well, I think, for the Digital Heritage Station is where's the marketing? Okay, so Hazel told you very briefly earlier that we're going to look to put some resources up for you, because we're very aware that you rely on putting posters together or events together or little tea parties or whatever event you put together. So we're going to try and make it really easy for you to click on items such as the logo that you can then go in and right click on and save that. And I think I've had just about much time to put something that's starting to resemble a poster. I think we're struggling with the Wi-Fi there to get all the graphics through. But this will be something that you can print off, and it'll have all our corporate information there ready for you. So they're just resources, and the marketing packs that you're taking away, if you can use those in any way, again, those are all going to be up there. There you go, in English and Welsh for you to hand out as you wish. So that's that ongoing. And so the other major thing that's happening at the moment is all around learning. So what we're hoping to do, whereas your database, you go into search and you can find anybody's profile or anybody's item and have a good rummage around. What we're hoping to do now is to develop that further so that teachers can go in and do the same thing. So if they go into work in the morning and they know their class is going to be studying St. David's Day, perhaps the institutions have put resources on there like teachers' packs, which are literally just collection of all the information we have relevant to that subject. So teachers will literally just be able to go in, click on some buttons, which, bear with me, this is like, we're almost finished with this page. It's almost going live. And so what will happen is, when I push the buttons, they will respond.
It is turning on the top.
It's turning on the, oh, there you go, there you go. So this then will be able to sort through and find, there you go, there's one on World War I there that somebody's put together. So that's all we wanted to show you on that, really, was that we are developing the facility for teachers to be able to tap into all your resources that our learning officers will put together for you. So it's repurposing content to a different audience, really. And I think that's about all we're working on at the moment. Although, say, Hazel, we haven't really got enough time to go into an awful lot of detail, but as a team, we tend to take your comments and your feedback very, very seriously. We were at a training group the other day. You will have noticed that the main menu here at the top has changed literally overnight. We were at a training course, and somebody looked at the top and said, "Oh, contribute, is that where you give money?" We were like, no, you don't have to give us money, just give us your images. So we really turned that around really quickly. It was like, okay, it makes sense to us as civil servants. We're used to working in institutions where In order to sign something like this off, it takes a group of 20 people. It then has to be signed off by various directors, and yeah, we've all worked in these installations far too long. We take everything far too serious, whereas this website is for you. So if you have anything that you want to tell us, well, you know what, we'd like a button that makes this function an awful lot easier, please get in touch, and we're open to making it a lot easier for you. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
Bear with me just for a second. Hold on. Please don't be at the start. There we are. Right.
So move to the next slide.
Okay.
Should be you.
Well, that's me. I'm not Kay Hansen. And again, I'll be very quick. This is just going to be a very quick forward look at things that we're working on as a program at the moment. As you know, we're all gasping for a cup of tea, so I'm going to be very
Can you
quick.
turn it off, Tom? I've just seen a spelling mistake.
Where is it? Oh dear. Quick, move it. Never mind. Right, at least you got most of the words in the right order. So yeah, a quick forward look at some of the things that we're doing, because the People's Collection, it's a website, it's a program of outreach and working with communities. It's also a program of looking for opportunities for new developments and applying new technologies, which is where I come in. And one of the things that we're exploring is this idea of this powered by People's Collection idea. What can we do to use our system to enable other people to build upon it, to use it in new ways, and to bring more material into the system? And really it's summed up with this, that we want to get more people, help more people get more good content online in a more sustainable way, and help others to find it and use it. And we've got a number of different ways that we're trying to achieve that. Probably the most important development is something that Mike is really key to in Hazel's team, which is the development of the API, Application Programming Interface. And the last time you'll hear that. But the idea basically of the API is it's a way to automatically get data into the system and a way to automatically get data out of the system for other people to use. And building upon this API will mean that we can get bulk uploads of thousands of items from community groups, from institutions, very quickly and easily into the website, and then also allow those to be used in other websites creatively. Building upon that idea of the API is the development of widgets and microsites. So if you're not familiar with the term of widget, you probably are familiar with seeing widgets when you're browsing the internet. Widgets are things like the embedded Google search bar that you might see on a website, or the buttons that allow you to click and register on a system for registering for a conference like Eventbrite, or embedded Twitter feeds or embedded Google Maps. These are all examples of widgets. And what we want to do is develop a range of widgets. What we'll be doing over the coming months is developing a range of widgets that allow the embedding of People's Collection material in partner websites, in other people's websites. So it could be a local history group, it could be a different organisation, but basically we'll produce these little tools that people can drop into their own systems. And we've got a range of different widget types that we want to have. Those might be object specific, so if you as a group have a website and you've uploaded a series of items to the People's Collection, you can embed those back in your site, but maintaining the metadata, the functionality, and all the information that goes with them in the People's Collection. We also have other widgets that will allow you to search within the People's Collection data from your own website. Also, small widgets that allow you to have lists. Let's say you've got a blog and you're very interested in the People's Collection. Well, you could have a list of the most recent content that's been added to the People's Collection in the sidebar of your website. And then we've got account-specific and location-specific websites, so widgets. So let's say you're a local history group or a local organisation that's uploaded material to the People's Collection. Girl Guides may have a website. Well, they could embed within their website all of their own content that's in the People's Collection, and that way people don't have to leave your website to view it, but we still get credit or the viewing information, the analytics that show people are accessing the material through the website. And you can use all the metadata that goes with our content to help filter that stuff. So if you've got a website about the First World War and you're only interested in Pembrokeshire, you can embed a widget that would only show you First World War related material in Pembrokeshire through one of our widgets. Moving on from that, we're also looking for opportunities to develop things called microsites. So this is scaling that idea up a bit again. Microsites, basically, they allow you to develop your own website, but use the technical development that's happened on the PCW over the last 5 years. So our infrastructure that allows our site to work will be available for people to put all their content in, but then they can maintain, everybody wants to have their own website because it allows them to get to tell their specific story in their own way, with their own graphics, with their own branding. So this is a way of achieving that, but without losing the sustainability and the metadata and the benefits of putting your material into the People's Collection. So it's allowing, it basically allows all that freedom, but guarantees the permanent accessibility of that digital material on the PCW website, and it also reduces costs. One of the main expenditures that happens when people get grant funding quite often is, a big chunk of that goes into developing the website, and then 3 years down the line, or however long, what's going to happen when the grant funding runs out? Well, hopefully we're coming up with an idea here that will help these things be more sustainable and lower cost to develop in the first place. And then the final thing I wanted to talk about very briefly was the Culture Beacon project. This is a project which is really about taking the content from the People's Collection and putting it back in the places where it's from, in the community, and then providing digital access to it where and when it's of most use. Basically it's an app that uses iBeacon technology. And cleverly, I've left my iBeacon in my bag, but don't worry about it. It's just a small Bluetooth beacon which triggers the display of content on a smartphone or a tablet device. So as you walk around, your device is notified that there's interesting content nearby. It's a really easy to use cloud-based content management system, which basically means that anyone can become a mobile app developer using this system and using the content from the People's Collection. It's a system that's been developed by a Welsh company called Lockley, who are based up in Bangor, and it allows people to either become, it allows anyone to become a beacon creator and us all to become beacon users with our devices. So these iBeacons, they work in a way. They use low-energy Bluetooth transmission. This is getting really technical now, isn't it? Low-energy Bluetooth transmission, which allows you to calibrate the device that picks up on this to decide whether you want it to display content when you're very, very close, within centimetres of a beacon, or a long way away, within 100 metres. It wakes up your device, it tells them that there's something there, and then it displays it. Probably the easiest way to explain it is to show you it being used at the National Slate Museum. I've just got to come through to Internet Explorer to show you that. Where are we? Beacons in the National Slate Museum. That's the one. So, the music's going to be loud. I'm going to warn you now. But basically, we piloted this technology at the National Slate Museum, where we installed 25 beacons around the site. I'll just let you see the way it works. So you put together your content in a series of content cards, which are like mini web pages. You associate each card or series of cards with a beacon, which you saw there in the shot, and as you walk around, it automatically tells your device to display the relevant content. You can have a series of cards down the left-hand side, and the main frame is filled with each card that you've selected. You can have images, video, audio, text, all embedded within that. There we are. And you can also have widgets embedded within this. Widgets that allow you to do things like show then and now photos, contrasting them with a slider, or draw your own cup of tea as well. One of the benefits in the museum environment is that where there are demonstrations that only happen at certain times in the day, you can make those demonstrations available permanently to anyone at any time, because you just embed the video in the device. An interesting other way that they can be used is, and they've done this at the National Slate Museum, is you can give the beacons to members of staff, and as members of staff are within range of people that are walking around, the visitor can be notified about that member of staff's specialism. So you can say, oh, you know, so-and-so, he knows all about slate splitting, I'll have a word with him, or you know, whether that would go down well with the staff at the National Library, I'm not sure. But it's an interesting application of the technology. All right, I'll move on now. Sorry. If I can make it stop. There we are. So it's an interesting technology, and it's something that we're working with a number of different community groups to pilot around Wales. You can do interesting things like looking then, you can gather analytics on where people stop, where people hang around, where people miss in their journeys. You can also program it. What's interesting with this technology is you can program it so that different people have different experiences. So if they spend a particular length of time at one point in a tour around, you can offer them more information. So you can say, well, you've been there for 3 minutes, you're obviously quite into this place. Offer them some more information. You can also log whether people have visited a location before, and if they have, you can offer them different information then. So it's very programmable and very easy to offer a different experience to different people as they walk around. And we're not just doing it, you know, it's easy to do this sort of thing in a museum because it's a controlled environment. You can shut the gates and you can, you know, send people to the cafe when it doesn't work. There's other things for people to do. But we've also piloted it with a community group in Nevin. They're the first community group who've actually taken this on and developed it themselves. And we chose Nevin because they're close to Llanberis and they'd come to the site and seen it. They're very keen. They've got a history in trying out some digital projects. They wanted to do it, so we said, okay, we'll offer you some help, and they were amazing. They did the whole work, all of the work themselves, all the digitization themselves, all the research themselves, and they turned the whole thing around and had a live system within a month of us running a workshop with them to learn how to use the system. One of the key things in developing it is that they repurposed existing content, and most places out there, Lampeter, you know, Newcastle, Emlyn, every small town, small village has some resources. They have either local history books, they have leaflets about the history of the place, they have interpretation panels, and Nevin's no different. They had a series of things that they could call upon, little walk-in routes, little bits of information that had already been produced, and they just brought all this together and put it together on this digital platform. They work with lots of other people here, loads of text. They work with the local museum, with the local archaeological trust, different companies, the RNLI. They all came together and got lots of information. And again, I'll just show you very briefly the work that they did because it's worth seeing how it works. I just come to this one. So this is the Maritime Museum in Nevin. And again, just to show you how it works on the day. So they already have been very successful in getting grant funding to fund the development of this museum, but what can you do when the museum's closed out of season? How do you tell people about the town itself? So you can see there it works on, the Wi-Fi's struggling, but you can see there it's working on a phone, it works on a phone, it works on a tablet, and as you walk around the town, they've put these beacons in different locations, even up in the trees in the centre of the town. They've been cable tied into the branches, because they're waterproof, the battery lasts for 3 years, they're low cost, and it's a really easy way of getting the information out there. So I will just finish off, let's have a look, by saying, I won't go into the detail of how you can make it sustainable, but you can make it sustainable. It's one of the things that we've, one of the questions that's important for us to answer is how can communities do this and keep it going live? Well, there are loads of opportunities, and if you're from a community that might be interested in pursuing this sort of thing, we've got lots of ideas about ways that you can develop a system that works with local businesses that benefits both ways, that benefits the local business because it drives more tourists and visitors to visit their businesses, but also benefits you because the businesses host and pay for the beacons that are the trigger for all this content. And there's more information online at culturebeacon.org. And as we develop the API further with the People's Collection, we're going to have a live link between the People's Collection data and this interface, so you'll be able to draw your content from your accounts and other accounts in the People's Collection and put it together to create these Culture Beacon experiences. So that's it. So thank you for listening.
Right. My task today is to bring this afternoon's event to a close, and then we'll all go for tea. I'd like to start by thanking you all for embracing the People's Collection and for making today's celebratory event possible. A special thank you to all our speakers for sharing their knowledge of the People's Collection service and for the excellent presentations sharing experiences and achievements of working with PCW in several different communities in Wales and the world. I would also like to thank Hazel and the People's Collections team here at the library for organising today's event, and the PCW teams across the National Museum, the Royal Commission and the library for delivering an excellent service. Diolch hefyd I Cymal am eu cefnogaeth. Thank you also to Cymal for their support. I'm sure that you will all wish to join me in thanking our speakers today. Rwy'n sicr eich bod yn barod I ymuno â fi I ddiolch i'n siaradwyr heddiw. Linda Thomas, June Françoise, Hazel Thomas, Emyr Price y Pencampwr o Landeilo, Fred Long a Dave Williams, Viv Craig, Kay Hansen a Tom Pert. Please join me in showing your appreciation. All that remains now is for me to invite you to join us for tea and to wish you all a safe journey home. If you do have time before you leave the library, we have 4 excellent exhibitions available. Shani Rhys-James, a distillation of 30 years of her work. Publisher and plunderer Sir John Preece and the First Welsh Books. The Storyteller's Spell, T. Jones' Centenary. And Llangranog, Cyfnod Mewn Amser, an exhibition that has been facilitated by digitisation work undertaken by People's Collection Wales. Diolch yn fawr iawn pawb.
We could just ask the digital energy stations to stay so we can get to them.
Yes, yes.
Proud people. Can we do that? And again, one more time. But thank you very much. You everyone out. Okay? And let's start with the superheroes, yeah? If you've got your pants on over your trousers.
See you.
How many digital champions are there? These two, or have we got more? We have it. And now are all eight here? Cool. Come a bit further on the stage. I'll be able to get it out.
Oh, yeah.
I count six.
Yeah, Cara switched on the Nevin project. She works on a different project. She used to work on it.
No, I just want to say like.
Yeah, she was in Korea.
Either of that?
Yeah.
I've got 6, 2, 8.
We said 4. Did you look at my notes? Oh, it's this thing, he didn't have it.
All right, you didn't have it, fine.
Cross
Yeah,
paper,
so
yeah.
we have
I knew that was okay. I think it's so close.
turn slightly like this. Turn like this. You should turn. No, that's right. Okay. You're going to go like that. No, you're not. No. Okay. Okay. Do they have anything that they should be holding?
All the bags. They can have the bags.
Do you have the bags? Your proud bags. Okay. Yeah, it's got a power bag here. Dwi'n ddweud da. Dyma bag here chi. Dwi'n wath y cael mai efo rhai here. Okay. Okay.
So what would you do with that?
Okay. Okay. So you're proud digital heroes, superstars, what champions. Okay. Right. Okay. Be again. Get off. Put a bit close together, boys. Lovely job. Job done?
Nearly came out.
What's that?